prescribe one opioid, it's a known risk. On 3 opioids at the same time, the effect is, I'm going to say compounded, but oh my God, it's startling. And add to that I'm not moving around very much because I'm recovering from major spinal surgery, and the reduced movement slows the bowel further. On top of that, the surgery was at the level of the lower lumbar spine. I'm pointing to the front here, A, because I can't get round to the back, but also because they had to access it from the front and the back. It's called the L4, L5 and S1 vertebrae. Now, the bowel, specifically the large bowel and the rectum, sits in very close anatomical proximity to that region of the spine. The surgery, the opioids, the reduced mobility, and my pre-existing adhesions all converged. And 3 weeks after my operations, my colon, which had been struggling silently throughout my recovery, reached crisis point. I hadn't passed a bowel movement in 3 weeks. My colon was severely impacted. The pressure on my rectum was causing a partial bowel obstruction. I'm sorry if this is TMI for some of you, but I need to really lay it out so you know what I'm talking about. That pressure throughout my pelvic region was so significant that my bladder, swollen and full, could not empty. And at 11:30 on the morning of Thursday, the 16th of April, 2026, I was screaming in pain in an ambulance. The fact that this turned out to be a partial obstruction of the bowel rather than a complete one was, medically speaking, extremely fortunate. A complete bowel obstruction at that stage, so soon after and in such close proximity to major spinal surgery, would have presented the surgeons with an almost impossible set of decisions. The risk of operating again in that region that soon is enormous. However, the risk of not operating when there is a complete bowel obstruction is also enormous. And I'd previously discovered that. It would have been a genuinely terrible situation and difficult decision for the surgeons to make. Anyway, I was kept in overnight, a catheter was fitted to relieve my bladder, I was treated and monitored, and I was discharged on the evening of the 17th of April. Like I said, I don't do anything by halves, so I came home with a UTI, which is a urinary tract infection, and anemia on top of everything else. I'm taking antibiotics, I'm in my wheelchair, and I'm still recording this episode because what happened took me straight back to that Sunday morning in 2017, and I thought, people need to know about this. People need to understand what scar adhesions can do. Remember one of the most important facts in this entire episode. You cannot detect adhesions. Not routinely, not with standard imaging, CT scans, MRIs, ultrasounds. They can all detect the consequences of adhesions. They can show a bowel obstruction. They can show a displaced organ. They can show the damage, but they can't show the adhesions themselves. Scar tissue does not show up on imaging, and so it cannot show you as they build, as they grow, as they spread silently through your abdominal cavity over the months and years.